Hi guys, it's Arshalahi, and in today's session I've got something really valuable for you as a top tip for all HMO owners and property owners. So I'm going to be telling you how you can save money on your utility bills in your HMO. Now before we do that, I want to say a quick hello to all subscribers, all listeners and all watchers of the channel. If you're completely new to the channel, why don't you press that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Every time I release a new video, you'll get a notification say it's up there. So let me ask you the question. Do you own a HMO? If so, are all the bills included? Are you including electricity? Are you including the gas and central heating? And is that having a negative effect on your cash flow? If so, today's session is going to be valuable for you. I'm going to be talking to you about a company that has been introduced to me called Metro Prepaid. And what they tend to do is supply landlords, or you can buy meters off Metro Prepaid, which allow the tenants to control their usage and also collect payments so that the electricity and gas is not coming out of your own pocket. I'm also in this video going to show you a live example as to how I've fitted these meters into one of my properties and how it's working on a practical level. So let me tell you a little bit about the product. So here we are. Here's one of the meters that has been delivered to my office. Like I said, it's called Metro Prepaid, and it's a prepayment meter for tenants. It collects payments and it controls the usage, and you can see that we've got a picture of the meter there. Now, how it works is that we install one of these meters, and I'm going to do a live opening of the box in a second. I feel like one of these kids that are opening one of these toys on YouTube. So I'm going to be unboxing the meter so you can have a real good look at how these meters look and how they feel, and you can see how robust they are, because as we all know, tenants have heavy hands. And how these meters work is that these meters are all installed in each of the rooms within the HMO. So how it actually works in practically is that each of the rooms have to be wired to their own mini ring main. As a result of that, the meter is then connected to the consumer board, and you'll see how I've done this in one of my HMOs. Now, when a tenant wants to use electricity in that room, they have to ensure that they have sufficient credit on their meter, which they can buy from any PayPoint zone. What's the beauty about this is that they can pay via PayPoint. They can actually go and they can buy what they consider power codes. And as a result of that, because Metro Prepaid will already have the tenant's name and phone number, they then get either a text message or an email confirming a 20-digit code, which they then bring back and input into the meter with the digital or with the buttons that you can see in front of you. Once they input the 20-digit code, they then press the red enter code, which then means that they then get an acceptance on the meter, allowing them electricity. So think about this. This is not a new concept, but it's made it more convenient for landlords to control their bills. More importantly, it's made the tenant more aware of what they're using. So let's quickly open this up. So here we have it. Here's a meter in actual fact in all its glory. So when I've opened the box, it comes with a little card. This is a card that they now take to either any PayPoint zone, or this is their unique reference card, which will now correlate to the meter serial code. Can you see the serial code right there? So that code will respond back to this card. So every time they make a payment, they will know it's regarding this serial code, and then any code that they put into this meter will then clearly show that it's the credit for that room and will provide that room with electricity. So just so that you know, the landlord will still have a master meter in the property. So as you are right now, you're still paying the electricity and gas for that property. However, what you do, you rewire some of the rooms and you fit some of these meters. And again, a little later on in the video, you'll see how I've done this in one of my properties. And more importantly, you'll see that when the tenant goes and tops up, I think, well, at the start of every month, I get a statement from Metro Prepaid telling me who's topped up and how much they've paid that month. As a result of that, that money is then sent to my bank account, which Metro Prepaid asked from the outset on the setup stage, which is very easy to do. Off the back of that, I receive the funds. I then pay my bill for the main meter, and you'll see this all in the video. So let's have a quick look at the product. It's very strong and it's very robust. So normally this would have a digital, when it's switched on, it'll have a digital display. And you can see that it's got all the details there. So if a tenant has got any issues, they can call the help desk, which is 24 hours a day. They've got the digital, they've got the nice rubber buttons. It's a nice, easy feel. And more importantly, the bottom is where the electrician will wire in all their cables to make sure that the meter is running effectively. It's not very big, it's not very thick, and more importantly, it's very easy to hang and install. If you want to have a look, that's where the meter tails will go into it. So I'm going to be talking to you now about how this works from a practical level. So on the back of the box, it's got a very easy installation guide, and almost like an idiot's guide as to how this works. So you can see there that it says that the existing main meter will still remain in the property, and that's the one that generally is within a utility area. So the house will still have its main meter, and these are what are considered as almost like sub-meters. So as you can see, it's used for sub or secondary metering only, and may not be used as a main or primary meter. So they're very clear that this is not to be used as the main meter. This is as a secondary or sub-meter. It's installed below or downstream of a main meter supplied by your energy supplier. So in the example that I'm going to use in my property, which you'll see in a short while, is that the main supplier is npower. So npower send me a bill every quarter. I then have a look at how much money I've collected from Metro Prepaid, and then I pay my bill to npower. It really is as simple as that. The reason why I also like this is the fact that in a normal HMO, most HMOs will only have one consumer board, one main consumer board. Now, as a result of fitting these meters, each of my rooms now have a mini consumer board in each of the rooms, which means that if something is defective in that room, it will only trip out that room in particular, which means that I don't have to go around the whole house looking for which appliance is defective. Finally, from an ease point, well, from a point of view as a landlord, I'm now not having to worry about how much electricity or how much gas that property is using, because if it is being used a lot, I can sit there comfortably knowing that the tenants are paying for that. So if they've got their heater on, they've got the washing machine going, if they've got the hot water machine running, they've got the kettle boiling and everything, it's a saying that they must now pay for what they're using, and it works really well. If they've run out of electricity, they then can very simply, they won't have to worry or bother me on a late evening to say that I've run out of electricity. They can go to multiple points, so they can go to a pay point zone, they can go online, they can do a bank transfer, they can pay via PayPal, and they can get electricity instantly, providing that they've got the funds to pay for it. Now, previously, what I was doing, and I'll show you a screenshot here, I was actually using sub-meters very similar to what you can see here, but they were having to purchase the tokens from me directly, which meant that I was always at the tenant's beck and call when they ran out of electricity. And this may be Friday evening at 8 o'clock in the evening, or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, where they're watching TV and they forgot to put on some electricity. I would then get that call and say, Arsh, would you mind selling me some electricity? Now, I've got two options there. I can either say, sorry, no, it's too late, I'm not coming out, which wouldn't sit well with me, knowing that they're sitting there in the dark. Or alternatively, I can go out and actually sell them a token, but it means that it's very inconvenient.